Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fragrant Bunker. Today we're going to do the top 5 Chanel perfumes for the month of November. This is kind of a new thing. I usually don't do the top Chanel perfumes for any given month, but November kind of had a Chanel flavor for me. This year at least, I don't know why, I just felt compelled to kind of compile my favorite Chanel perfumes for this month, the ones that I'm using the most. So let's see how this goes. Let's try it out together. First, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Here on the tubes, you can push the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And you can also follow me on Patreon, superdacob all spelled together, for extra perks. Thank you to all my patrons have pledged. Now, let's cut to the chase, honey. So the first one that I am really enjoying, it's kind of a slow violet vetiver accord, very, very gentle, light, slightly warm and wet. Perfect for this year's November, at least. It kind of really hits the spot this year for me. Sycamore, and yes, it is the Eau de Parfum concentration in the batch code 7901. I do say this a lot. When Sycamore existed in the Eau de Toilette concentration, it was my favorite go-to Les Exclusives perfume of the newly released Les Exclusives back in the, not the original 4, right? Which I still adore above anything else, the original 4 Les Exclusives. But when they reformulated it and gave it a new concentration back in 2016, as Olivier Polge took over and Jacques Polge retired, I did not enjoy Sycamore at all. The first iteration of Eau de Parfum back in 2016, pardon me, it just did not cut it for me. Not at all. Now, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Thumb up the video if you're liking it and subscribe. Today, fascinating how this perfume in the Eau de Parfum concentration kind of went through a sort of evolution and tweaking and reformulation. So now, like I said, this is, as of this video, it is, 1.5 to 2 years old, this batch, 7901. It's about a year old. It does smell closer now to the Eau de Toilette than its 2016 Eau de Parfum predecessor did. So I can sense the tweaking in here. We're kind of going back to the Eau de Toilette. It's still not the glory times of the toilet, but it's close enough for me to like it enough to now purchase it again. Because I stopped from 2016 to 2022, I did not purchase Eau de Parfum ever. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's like 6 years of not purchasing, and that's how much stock I have of the Eau de Toilette still. But I do like the current version of the Eau de Parfum, and it is not as cold and wet as the Eau de Toilette. There's a smidge of warmth in there, which is just right for me right now for the vibes I'm feeling in November. That vetiver, violet, smoky accord, smidge of smoky accord in there, and tobacco. Beauty, what a beauty, what a beauty. It's kind of Chanel without being too Chanel. It's such a fabulous vibe. Now let's go to number 2. And by the way, Sycamore, morning, evening, day, night, all the time. Really, there's no real formula for this in terms of, oh, do not wear this in the morning or do not wear it in the evening. The current version of the Eau de Parfum really is delicate enough to go any time of the day. It has a decent, I want to say, lasting power, 4 to 5 hours on my skin. Of course, if you spray it on clothes or on hair, it might dry your hair out a little bit, but if you spray it on hair, it will last longer. Hair is a really, really powerful fragrance and scent kind of absorbent and transporter. So the next one, classic, in its refill form, Chanel No. 5 Eau de Toilette, usually a staple of mine in spring or summer, but somehow it just smells of late autumn this year to me. I don't know what kind of switched in my head, but you know what? Let me just give it a spritz because Oh man. And I highly recommend the refill. Now, don't give Chanel any ideas, right? But for traveling in general, and I always say this was my go-to when I worked Paris Fashion Week. I would always have this in my bag because it's a 50 ml, beautiful bottle, glass. It comes with its stopper, even the refill. It costs way less than the other formats of the perfume. And the refill bottle is beautiful enough to be its own perfume bottle, in my opinion. Yeah, the stopper is a bit awkward, but it does have the double C on top. But so it's a great value cost, like milliliter price per milliliter, but also more compact. You get 50 ml in a small size, so it fits in the purse, and it's 50 ml is a substantial amount to kind of respritz throughout the day. So I do recommend this if you are a person that loves Chanel No. 5 Eau de Toilette and you are constantly on the go, but you want to have Chanel No. 5 with you to respray throughout the day. The 20 ml refillable spray vials, while they are really beautiful, that metal twist container, it is metal lacquered. It's easy for it to get bumped, scratched, dented, really annoying. Plus, it's kind of chunky. And then inside you kind of put that 20 ml vial, and the 20 ml vial really doesn't last as much as the 50 ml, but the 50 ml bottle is much more compact than the 20 ml refillable metal container, you see? So you get way more mileage out of the 50 ml. So this is why I highly recommend this bottle, and I hope that Chanel doesn't watch this video and then they go, no, let's make more money. Let's take this away, so now you can't use this, without putting it in its refillable container. So annoying. So anyway, this is the magic, this stopper that protects it from opening up and spraying on the loose in the back. Magical. It's giving me kind of fresh early morning vibes, almost like an eau de cologne. Very unisex. Seriously, perfume knows no gender in general, but the Eau de Toilette of Chanel No. 5 in particular has a very special old school vibe and story. Now, the Eau de Toilette was released back in the 20s together with the Eau de Parfum. So it is, together with the Extrait, pardon me. The Eau de Parfum was released in the 80s. But the Parfum was released in 1921 and then followed by the Eau de Toilette. And the Eau de Toilette is such a morning, it's giving me Hercule Poirot vibes, very Agatha Christie, very that prim and proper, get ready for a cold day, put layer on, coiffed, trimmed, just perfectly shaved, bathed, put together, and then you add those layers, the sweater, the coat, the petticoat, whatever, the vest, and then the jacket, and then you go out. And this is that smell. It smells of going on the Orient Express, the steam and the gray skies. And it's just, somehow this year it's giving me major 20s vibes in the gray weather. And it's more than Paris this year, it's giving me London. For some awkward reason, I'm totally Agatha Christie. No. 5 Eau de Toilette this November. Go figure. And Eau de Toilette form in the morning. It's your ritual to get ready in the morning and leave the house, and you feel like something important is going to happen. You're going to analyze something important. You're going to unlock certain mysteries or something. The next one is for the particularly cold days when you need a warm boost of energy. Slight sexual connotation there as well, because it's a roll in the hay with this one, with a ton of labdanum and incense. You guessed it, even though I do prefer this one in the summer. Strange. This year, it hits the spot for me in late autumn. Le Lion de Chanel, the Eau de Parfum, which is the only concentration that they ever did make until now. Batch code 5001, one of the early batch codes ever made. One of the first ones made. Let me layer this with No. 5 Eau de Toilette while we're at it. Just a spritz. This is powerful, honey. Oh, the labdanum in here. The hay. The acidity, the zestiness, the pissy connotation with the aldehydes and the... just magical. This thing, it just warms you up immediately, and it gives you fire. It gives you zest, you know, it gives you almost like a boost to catapult you through the winter and make it through on the other side when spring arrives. It is just a powerhouse of a perfume. Seriously, so out of the ordinary, so extraordinary. You know, for Chanel standards, this is very, very daring. There's no other perfume that has been released that goes in this direction by any other perfume house, really, in these past few years. You know, this is very, sure, if we think 20s and 30s, this is kind of your regular release. But if you think 2020, 2021, 22, or 2023, it's very daring and very different from your kind of easygoing, you know, friendly, user-friendly, inoffensive, office-friendly perfumes. Lanier de Chanel, it burns. It's woodsy and incensey, vanilla, aldehydic. It takes you to a very strong character place, dominated by opinions and dominated by truth, dominated by honesty. It's kind of the opposite of the society we live in today, where everybody's lying in your face, really. Everybody's trying to desperately climb the social ladder, and they're kind of hiding their true intentions. They're not going to reveal what they really think about you. You know, the corporate world we live in today. Well, Lanier de Chanel is the opposite of that. And this is why it's so refreshing to me. I've been going through a lot lately, you know, coordinating, figuring stuff out, business-wise, work-wise, a lot of different things. And Lanier de Chanel has been a really, really good companion for me. It kind of balances me out and tells me, like, Dacob, no. Just stick to the truth. Stick to who you are, to your roots. You will make it the way you are, with your honesty, with your decency, with the way you are. Be truthful to yourself, you know. Really, Lanier de Chanel is kind of a reminder to me to stay true to who you are. What a masterpiece of a perfume. I treasure this, really, especially one of the first batches made. Just, yeah. It's a very noble perfume. Noble, not as in, oh, I come from aristocracy, darling. No, nobility of the soul, nobility of moral integrity, nobility of, you know, being a decent, honest person. That's what kind of it smells. And there's strength and power in that. So it's a beautiful reminder to me to stay focused, rooted in my own base, and truthful to who I am. And what a beautiful gift to have a perfume like that reminds you of that. It's just my opinion. Obvi. Now, number 4. Oh, and by the way, Lanier de Chanel, also good in the morning, but after breakfast, not before, because this thing is a beast. And on an empty stomach, it might make you feel nauseous. At night, right before bed, possibly as well, if you know what I mean. IYK. Now, you could have that sort of fun also during the day. Up to you. Number 4. It had to be Cristal, the OG, our fingerprint magnet lady. Let me clean you up a little bit here. I love this beauty. This is the Eau de Toilette. Look at that. Look at that trickery that Chanel does. It looks much more empty when you flip it like this. Because like this, it looks a little bit fuller. Magic. Oak moss, tree moss, vetiver, hyacinth, bergamotti opening, crystalline, sparkling aldehydes. This thing is a freezing morning masterpiece in November. It just delivers. It delivers frost, almost crystalline frost. Now, it is kind of a reminder. You know, sure, we got the new formulation out, right? Chanel is telling us, no, it's the same formula as before. We have the new packaging, the new bottle. I have purchased it. I have reviewed it as well. I've reviewed all these perfumes on my channel, so you can go check out individual reviews of each and every one of single one of these fragrances, but I've also just acquired the latest iteration of Cristal Eau de Toilette in the new bottle, and I have reviewed it. It's a much warmer experience than the predecessor concentration. I'm not saying that this concentration is the OG, because the OG is from the 70s. This one is also highly reformulated, but nevertheless, it still gives me the cool, cold ashtray accord immediately from the get-go that the current version doesn't really deliver as much. It's more warm. It's more Olivier Paulgesque, if you may. This is still kind of reminiscent of Henri Robert, even though it's been watered down somewhat since the 70s. Way less oak moss than there used to be. But we have that ashtray, Coco Chanel ashtray accord from her later years. Kind of smells of who Coco was towards the end of her life. Very fascinating. Character description of a person through perfume. Just incredible. And, oh, I don't know. It makes me feel like it's a sobering up early in the morning. It's like a slap in the face telling you, okay, this is where it's going to go today. This is how it's going to be. You will pull your shit together. You will make it through the day. Now, this is particularly interesting for me to wear on those days when I feel a little bit depressed, where I feel a little bit down, where I feel like, oh, the world is crushing me, life is crushing me. I'm just going to stay in bed the whole day. I'm going to linger away. Just, oh, woe is me, woe is me. This perfume usually gives me that slap in the face, slap on my soul, and tells me, no, wake the F up, work. Be who you are, believe in yourself, be disciplined, do not let yourself go. Time is precious. Time is the biggest luxury we have. Use that time wisely. Be productive. Continue creating. Creativity is important. Tell the world who you are. This is how much I love this perfume, because it's kind of like a mother or a father, that tells you, that they care for you. They care for you, and they remind you of who you are, to believe in yourself. And it's just such a beautiful, strict parent, but a loving parent. Tough cookie. Tough love, basically. In spring and summer, this one becomes a bit more loving, a bit more caring, a little bit less of a tough love. But in the depths of autumn, and this year, November, this one is really giving me that tough loving that I highly need. So it's kind of keeping me in line. And I love that. I love that for me. Oh, the superficiality. Live and ferret. I love that for me, not the other conversation we're just having, which is the opposite of superficial, obviously. Well, to each their own. Number 5, last but not least. Number 5 is not number 5, because what was number 2 was number 5. Number 5 is number 22. Oh, the number games. Number 22, Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum number 22. Heaven. I want to say I kept the best for last for this month, and I really did. A batch code 8001. Formula from last year, or batch code from last year. This thing, oh my God. Chanel really delivers with this one, and then some. I don't know how they managed to fine-tune and tweak this formula. This is a tricky one. Number 22 can age really badly, and they can become very sour in the opening notes. So you need to use your bottle quickly. It's a moody perfume. It can, before you know it, one day you wake up and the juice just turns a dark orange. And it's the vanilla in there. It oxidizes. It doesn't mean that it's going to smell acidy and bad, but it can. But there's a transitional period of this perfume when it's kind of this color. It's kind of that beigey yellow. It's not going orange yet. This is when it's at its finest, smell-wise. The eyeball. Ooh. the tuberose. And the incense is back for a certain period of time. The Eau de Parfum did not seem to have any incense left in it. The Eau de Cologne had a lot of incense. The Eau de Toilette as well, or the Extrait too. But now I sense it again. There's an incense vanilla accord in the dry down. Oh my gosh. And that ylang ylang and that buttery ylang ylang and that tuberose in here. This is the Chanel tuberose, you guys. You know, it's giving me, in the best of ways, 30s Hollywood. Oh, and I distinctly smell out the incense now in this one. It's kind of ripened just right. It's a beautiful movie set. I mean, it's kind of, and this is not 30s, but we have a lot of different times here. This is an AI generated vibe, but this part here, the top little crown jewel, this is kind of giving me 30s vibes, even though it's a bit too rounded off. But the rest, it's an eclectic clash of a lot of different times. You know, this is also giving me 30s Hollywood right here, and this window is giving me 20s vibes. There's a lot of mixed up things going on in this set that we're using today. Just like all of these perfumes, they travel through time. This set is kind of a combination of different times all meshed together. And what's keeping them together is this golden arch color, which is this juice in particular. I think number 22 is keeping all of these together. I know people say that number 22 is it's the smaller sister of number 5. Well, you know, number 22 gets a bad rep in terms of, it's kind of the unfortunate, you know, it's the Cinderella to Chanel number 5. I don't agree. You know, number 22, if IYK, if you know you're number 22, you know that this is the loving sister of, you know, number 5. Number 5 is that abstract kind of cold sister or brother, what have you. Perfumes don't know gender for me. And number 22 is the more aware and mature, wiser sister. Perfectly tailored, perfectly trimmed. The lights are set. The makeup is right. It is Hollywood in the 30s. It is, this one was released in 1922, but I can envision Hollywood stars in the 30s wearing this, walking the red carpets at the premiere of the movies with the spotlights everywhere, the glamour and the furs. Yeah, back then, the furs, not the faux furs. Not that I condone it, but it's part of our history. We can't just forget that it exists, that aesthetic exists. We can appreciate it in photos at least. We don't have to wear it. It's giving me, you have worked so hard. You have perfected your craft so much. You've come to the point where now you can shine and sparkle for just an hour or two, just enough time to take the photos, you know, on the red carpet, to sit down to greet all the guests. And then the magic is over, right? There might be an after party after that premiere, and you're still there mingling with people, and you're alluring them with your charm and your wit, and this smell. It's just, again, we kind of opened with Agatha Christie in a way. Second perfume was Agatha Christie. And we're kind of going again in that Agatha Christie vibe. It almost is a smell from one of her novels, but make it Hollywood, you know? And I'm talking old school Hollywood, not Kenneth Branagh redoing her books, because that ain't it, girl. We're talking old school, 30s drama, 30s glamour, sparkles, romance, flirtation, sophistication, beautiful conversation in society with other colleagues, friends, or lovers, just flavoring, tasting how beautiful social life can be. We've kind of forgotten what social life is, because of the pandemic and the lockdowns that we've gone through all these years, and we've distanced ourselves from each other. Social media has made us very asocial. Everybody's kind of on their own at home. And this perfume kind of makes me want to go out again and have beautiful, delightful conversation while sipping on delicious drinks and eating little canapes and going to the museum together, to the gallery together. These like culturally nourishing conversations, culturally nourishing encounters with friends and family and lovers. I'm craving that this November, and number 22 is giving me that push to go out into society and enjoy the finer things in life. It also smells of a desire for jewelry, fine jewelry, which I'm contemplating expanding my collection with. I do have my Chanel Platinum ring always with me, reminding me always of the 1932 Chanel Platinum and Diamonds collection. A little bit of Hermes is there as well, and a little bit of Chanel costume jewelry too. But this one really tingles and sparkles in the right mystical time travel way that I need so much, especially November, when the days are kind of shorter and shorter and shorter, and you're harvesting your thoughts and the years passing, and you crave some sort of sophistication, that feeling of I've worked so hard towards something. I would like to see that harvest come to fruition, and this symbolizes that potential fruition. That would be my top 5 Chanel perfumes for the month of November. Let me know if you enjoy this type of video. If you have, thumb it up, subscribe to my channel, and push the notification bell to get notified when I post my next video. Let me know your top Chanels for this month down below. Until next time, never give up on fragrant love. Love you loads. Take care. Bye.